And welcome to another edition of the Hutchinson Report. I'm your host, Earl O'Hara Hutchinson. One of the major areas of concern has always been economic development in urban areas, especially like Watts, South Los Angeles, but many other, the America's Wattses, I guess you can say, because they're everywhere. So today, who better to talk about economic development than my special guest? And we are definitely happy to have him. And he just came in from Washington, D.C. Jay Williams, Assistant Secretary for Economic Development. That's Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Economic Development. Welcome to the Hutchinson
Dr.
Report.
Hutchinson, thank you for having me. We are excited about being here. Thank you for the opportunity and for your hospitality. The Economic Development Administration is about creating economic opportunities in distressed communities across this country. And when I say distressed communities, it's certainly cities and towns, both urban and rural, but when you talk about a place like Watts, that is the epitome of the type of area that we have been investing in for 50 years. So it is really about bringing together stakeholders. When I say investments, we actually use federal dollars to invest in public infrastructure and public goods in those communities with the idea of ultimately attracting private investors that then create the jobs for the citizens of those neighborhoods and those communities across this country. This administration has committed itself to bringing resources, hard dollars, into these neighborhoods. And it's not going to be a cure-all. That's the other thing. People often want, we've gotten so accustomed to getting everything instantly, or instant entertainment, instant gratification, instant information. These are very difficult and complex challenges because while the public money that we invest is an important part of it, ultimately we want to create opportunities for people living in these neighborhoods, not coming in and try to dictate from Washington, D.C. what's best for the folks in Inglewood or Watts or Detroit or Gary, Indiana, but to bring together the resources that we have that ultimately create those opportunities for the people living here.
Washington can't solve all of these problems that face our cities, and frankly, I know that cities don't expect Washington to solve all these problems. Instead of waiting for Washington, a lot of cities have already gone ahead and become their own laboratories for change and innovation.
But infrastructure, one of the things that is so critical to these communities, these neighborhoods, and infrastructure. And I don't mean infrastructure just like the roads and the sidewalks, and those things are very important. But nowadays, we talk about infrastructure, broadband, for instance. So many of our neighborhood and communities are still not linked to the outside world because of the lack of the broadband infrastructure. We take for granted oftentimes the ability to go online or the ability to access the information on the World Wide Web, but there are still far too many communities because of costs or other things that don't have that infrastructure.
The whole point of having a city, the whole point of all that infrastructure is a way of bringing people together, create new things, and in particular create wealth.
A vision of vibrant, sustainable places that provide our children with every chance to learn and to grow, and that allow our businesses and workers the best opportunity to innovate and succeed, and that let our older Americans live out their best years in the midst of all that metropolitan life can offer.
Another thing would be skills training. There are jobs that are available or going unfilled in this country right now, not because there are people who aren't willing to fill them, but the skills that are necessary. We've gotten away from, when I was in school, we still had shop classes. We still had
I remember that.
All those things. Well, we got away from that. So we've lost a generation of young people who we pushed away from making things or being adept with their hands. There are any number of opportunities that exist, but the employers, need those individuals to come in with a basic set of skills that we got when we were in school, but nowadays aren't being taught.